What's up everyone, John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here. I am in Round Rock on Dell's corporate campus and I got some hands-on time with a pre-production Dell Streak. So let me go ahead and walk you through it and we'll try and learn it together. I only get the device for a few minutes. First, let's start with the size comparison. Everybody's sort of thinking about how big this 5-inch screen is really going to be. So let's put it here next to the iPhone so you can see a size comparison. Stack them up on top of each other. This is sort of a in-between sort of device. It's certainly a tablet, but it's also a phone. They're expecting that you're going to keep it in your pocket or purse. So go ahead and push that off to the side. Here it is next to the much larger tablet competition, the iPad. You can see sort of the size comparison purposes there as well. From a thinness standpoint, actually is very thin. So we'll compare it next to the iPhone as well. You can see the thinness really plays a part into how pocketable or unpocketable this is going to be, as we'll see in just a moment. Alright, so let's turn this thing on. Actually, before I do that, give a little bit more of a hardware tour here. Dell hasn't been giving out really specs on it, but we can sort of surmise of what we've got. So on the front of the device, you have a front-facing camera, which certainly has obvious uses for Skype and video chat. You've got your earpiece and microphone. You've got 3 Android button array as opposed to the usual Android buttons, and I'll show you why that is in just a minute. They are capacitive. You've got a home button, a menu button, and a back button. On the top of the device, you've got a volume rocker because this is indeed a mobile phone. You've got I believe it's a 3.5mm headset jack, your lock and power button, and a camera button which will access both cameras. On the back, this is the red model. I'm not sure if it's going to come in other colors. You've got a pretty nice 5-megapixel camera with dual LED flash. On the bottom, you've got a proprietary dock connector, so there isn't any sort of USB or micro USB port built in, and I'll show you how that works too in a moment. Let's go ahead and power this thing on and see what we are working with. So go ahead and unlock, and this is running a custom version of Android 1.6, although Dell has said that it will be upgradable to Froyo version 2.1 in the near future. Or Android 2.2 rather, in the near future. So go ahead and unlock it. And it's a very custom UI. Traditionally with Android phones, you've got a bar you pull down from the top with all your notifications. This bar is actually segmented. Let's take a look at it. So in the upper left-hand corner, you've got a down arrow, which actually pulls down a list of all your applications. And if you have it sort of minimized, you can have it say more or less, and it'll pull up your most recently used. And if you want to get the full sort of list of all the stuff, you go ahead and hit more. And then it looks like standard Android. You can scroll through and sort of pick out what you like. So if you go ahead and get rid of that, you've got your home button, letting you know this has 4 home screens. You can see the little orangish dot, so you can scroll either way and access home screens and customize them as you like. And you can see that you can have individual wallpapers for each. This next one here is sort of for, if I had 3G SIM card in here, I don't have a SIM card in. This is supporting AT&T's 3G network, although AT&T hasn't officially announced it yet. So that's where that notifications and such would show up if you had emails and the like as well. Here's all of your wireless settings, so it tells me that I'm on Wi-Fi, no 3G. See by the X with the bars and battery information, and then the time and date. So this is in landscape orientation. I was trying to sort of see if it would rotate and go to portrait, but it does not have a portrait orientation, which I assume is due to that sort of bar across the top that we just talked about. So this is running Android 1.6, but they do have multi-touch enabled. So let me go ahead and we'll go to a web page and see what that looks like. Device just locked on me. Go ahead and unlock it again. Certainly multi-touch is an important feature to many people, including me. Let's go ahead and open that up. We'll go to browser. And here we are on the Dell website. Let's see how that works. So it sort of keeps going a little bit after I stop. And this is, again, a pre-production. Dell had to make sure that I mentioned this is a pre-production hardware. See if we double tap if that'll zoom in or not. So it does kind of realign the text. But the multi-touch does work. We've certainly seen worse implementations of it. You get sort of your standard array. You got your back button, forward button, refresh, and bookmarks. Let's go ahead and go home. No pricing's been announced on this yet either. And so this is sort of part of Dell's custom UI. You can see contacts, text messages, Gmail. It's all sort of segmented. If we hold it down, there's some custom widgets as well. So I'll go ahead and launch that. You can sort of see what they've got on here. And of course you have full access to the Dell or the Android marketplace as well. So we'll go ahead and go home. The biggest question that I had was, is this going to fit in my pocket? So let me show you what this looks like. So I'll go ahead and lock the screen. And I'm working the camera while I'm doing this, so excuse the probably shaky, nausea-inducing feel. So right now I'm going to push down here in my pants. I got nothing in my pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and put my iPhone in. You can see what that looks like. So drop the iPhone in. Sort of, you can see it a little bit right there. Not too bad, but you know it's in your pocket. We'll go ahead and take that out now. And I will put the much larger Streak into my pocket. And I was actually very surprised that it did fit in the pocket. You have to sort of rearrange it so it sort of slides down, but once it's in there, it's not too bad. You can definitely notice it. You can sort of see I've got a very large rectangle in my pocket, but it is pocketable. Certainly it's not going to be as pocketable as other smaller devices, but you definitely could throw it in your pocket. Now, how is this thing going to look when you're using it as a phone, since it does have, you know, full phone capabilities? Let me go ahead and turn the camera around, and again, excuse the sort of shoddy camera work we're bound to have here. So there I am, and here's a Dell Streak. Let's see how it's going to look when it's up to your head. Looks very big up to your head. Certainly you'd get some attention while you were talking to it, but it does work, and certainly you'd use a Bluetooth or that big speaker on the back if you want to do speakerphone. So that's sort of the profile shot of what that would look like. We'll go ahead and turn the camera back around. We'll show you some of the accessories that are going to be available for this Streak. I'm not sure if these are going to be shipping with it or if they're going to be options or what, but here are something that's going to come with it. It does use a proprietary port on the back. You do have a dock option, so probably a way to charge it. You go ahead and pop it right in the dock. It leads back to, it's got a power cord right up to the wall. Now this wall cord does pop out, and this is how you get information onto it via USB. You'd plug that in, and you could pick up your information. Now I will assume that they'll see a proprietary to regular USB, so you don't have to use a dock to get information off of it. But this is just how this one right here is arranged. You can sort of see the in-wall power is a bit on the large side. Go ahead and pull it out. You can see sort of what that looks like as well. So here's the dock. It'd probably be good for watching movies. I think that the Streak is actually going to have a pretty decent niche market. This is great for the traveler who wants to watch a lot of video and doesn't want to carry another device, or doesn't want to carry a tablet. Just wants to sort of carry one thing that can be their phone, watch a video on it. And because it is such a large screen, I sort of would be remiss to not show you the keyboard actually. Because it does sort of have a Dell custom keyboard on it. You're going to do a lot of typing, and on a screen this large, you'd expect the keyboard to be pretty good here. So you've got your sort of recent applications, and you can pick what home screen you want. Let me go ahead and duck out of this, and let's go ahead and check out the keyboard. So we will go to, this is sort of a phone somebody's using, so I'm going to not open up text messages. Let's go to, let's try browser for example. Let's go ahead and type that in, and you can see right here what the keyboard looks like. So you do get a pretty decent sized keyboard. You also get a full number pad on the right, and I did use this. The keys do look a little bit on the small side, but it's pretty easy to navigate, and there is a lot of room to move your fingers, and you do get haptic feedback as you go through and touch them. So guys, no carrier release on this yet, or no pricing. It's just a pre-production model, but I did want to give you a hands-on time with the Dell Streak. I'm going to try and get a product expert to give me a more thorough walkthrough, and if I can, I'll add it to this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I want to know what your thoughts are on the Dell Streak. Does Dell have a good idea on their hands that's sort of niche and isn't going to be well adopted? You know, what do you guys think? Anyway, I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. And I mentioned to my audience that I was coming to look at Dell's mobility, and I had a few questions that I promised I would ask. Okay. So the first one that I would ask is Dell planning on entering the mobile space permanently? I know there's been sort of little forays here and there. Is Dell something that Dell's committed to?
Oh yeah, we're here. We have a whole business unit called the Communication Solutions Group that all these devices are coming out of.
And the next question I wanted to ask is, how does the Dell team view the iPhone 4, and how do they view sort of Apple's design as a whole?
In what context?
So the question would be, do you consider a product like the iPhone 4 to be direct competitive or something like this, or is it something that's in a completely different market sphere? And what market are you trying to target this with? It sort of seems like an in-between device.
I mean, it is. Like I said before, we really wanted to create a product that was capable of providing a great web browsing experience, but also what you don't see in some of the other tablets is the ability to do this, to make your phone calls, and also put it in your pocket.